there's one thing that I want to say to all the marketers out there who are creating photos for people who are age 65, 65-year-olds look like their 40s. The 60s is the new midlife. Like 40s are the new 20s. Yeah. It's truly, we are living to age 100 and beyond. And we need to start thinking about that from a health perspective. Number one, like, what are we eating? How much water are we drinking? Are we getting enough rest? We need to think about it in a health perspective, but we need to think about it financially as well. That at 65, many people are still at work because they're going to be living another 40 years. It used to be that our mortality rates were 70, 75, and that just isn't true any longer. People are living well beyond. People are running marathons in their 70s.
Hello and welcome to Pathways Unleashed, a special edition of Pathways with Amber Stitt. The Pathways Unleashed podcasts were recorded with special guests and the authors of The Unleashed Entrepreneur and The Biohacking Entrepreneur, who were celebrating the book launches at the Unleash Your Superpower Conference in Delray Beach, Florida in April 2025. Let's join the conversation. I was telling the audience a little bit about you on your way in that we've met before, my friend.
We've met before, Amber. I'm so excited to be here. Yes.
I was telling a little bit about the why behind today and all these authors that I want to meet. And I had an office manager once tell me I was a little too inquisitive. And it bothered me a little bit back in the day, but now I know why. And for anybody that's like trying to get through something in their life, whether it's a transition of sorts or just trusting yourself, it's funny as you hear these stories unraveling with different pathways, you end up going, I knew all along who I was. And you've always had this sparkle. And so back, a couple years ago, we've been in financial services, part of an organization in financial services. I'm not going to call us disruptors, but I feel like we definitely want to do things differently and pull other people's stories and experiences into our world. You and Medicare, as an entrepreneur, PDX insurance, but also as a co-host of a different podcast that we've held together, just launched last October. You've been an entrepreneur for how long now?
Since 2009.
Yeah. Now you're going to be I'm a published author. So we get to celebrate that this week. And so a lot has happened, Kate. Why don't you share a little bit about your journey into entrepreneurship? I don't want to talk about your chapter too much because I want everyone to read it for themselves. But can you weave in a little bit of like how we even got here together? Like, what was it initially for you to get to this point?
Absolutely, Amber. I said yes. When I met Amber, she was literally in the walking path of a conference we both attended. And I'm coming from the perspective of I write Medicare insurance for people transitioning to Medicare for the first time in Oregon. And I serve on a board for women in insurance and financial services. And I thought, why am I going to go to a conference in Arizona? How's that going to help my 64-year-olds? And actually, it's not about helping them. It's about attracting, advancing, and developing myself by doing things that are hard or that are not something that I would do in my everyday. So if I stay in my office and do not change my routine, I'm going to continue doing things closely to the same thing. But I went to a conference in Arizona, met Amber. She was doing a podcast that ultimately, sometimes it doesn't quite take off.
That was a series from a financial services group. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was celebrating that.
We were celebrating a series. And from there, she invited me to be a guest on the Amber Stitt show. And our energy was so magnetic and electric.
Yeah.
We decided to launch our own series called Timeless Vitality. And the Timeless Vitality podcast, it's truly talking about what makes someone or something timeless. Because regardless of which industry you're in, we all face challenges. And at the time when we're uncomfortable and we're in that growth state, they always end up leading to some pearl of wisdom. So how did I become an entrepreneur? That was your question. In 2008, I was in a different industry. So I changed from the food and beverage industry to insurance. And we all know what happened in 2008 with the markets. Like, all of a sudden, you did not need your food and beverage director in 2008. So I wanted to be set in a role that would be timeless, that would be necessary.
You didn't even know that then, what you were doing.
I didn't even know it, but I was choosing to be in a path. But I was also inspired because of my mom, who chose this path. And she had laid the groundwork and said, this would be a really good fit for your personality because you love working with folks. You've always volunteered at senior centers, so why not help them choose their health plan? And so it was a great fit for me.
This episode of Pathways has been brought to you by OWL. Owl gives you access to new networks and valuable contacts otherwise unreachable without a referral. Get in touch instantly in real time on a private one-on-one audio call. Search through vetted professionals to connect with the people you are looking for. Download the Owl app today and expand your reach. Okay, so transition from, there was an economical change. A lot of the authors that we have in front of us, it's all different stories. So it's important for us to have this conversation. So anyone listening could say, well, that could be me. Maybe that's not me, but I know somebody. But this momentum that can help you see there's other ways to do things. And it's not like you failed at something. I know you talk about failing forward, but there's no rules.
You're right. There isn't any rules. And not only are we failing forward, we're out there doing something with the tools we have at that time. And then we have this growth spurt, which launches us to our launching pad, where I find myself in Boca Raton, where I've never been before, here on the Owl podcast, live on LinkedIn. I'm like, hey, peeps, This is cool. But that wouldn't have happened if I would have stayed at home doing the same thing every day. And so even these circumstances that don't quite work out the way we want, they're opportunities to give us the strength to think what else is possible. Or maybe we weren't even thinking big enough.
Yeah. Well, you're right. If you're sitting at home, just working all the time, you know how I like to just get in my routine.
Yes.
People like you will pull me out of my routine and say, hey, we got to go have some fun. We got to go meet some people. But what you're really talking about is innovation. Even if it's communication and meeting people, that's where the juicy stuff comes from, those magic ideas. You won't really know it's possible if you stay in your shell. So even with like a blend of timeless, the biohacking book that you're in, you're talking about more of like rethinking, and you and I want our audience to think outside this, hey, you're going to retire at this certain date and the life is over. And a lot of our entrepreneurs are going to tell more stories today about that, where like we have time to be timeless, but like, let's not shut it down at 60.
Oh my gosh. If there's one thing that I want to say to all the marketers out there who are creating photos for people who are age 65, 65-year-olds look like they're 40s. The 60s is the new midlife. Like 40s are the new 20s. Yeah. It's truly, we are living to age 100 and beyond. And we need to start thinking about that from a health perspective, number one. Like, what are we eating? How much water are we drinking? Are we getting enough rest? We need to think about it in a health perspective, but we need to think about it financially as well. That at 65, many people are still at work because they're going to be living another 40 years. It used to be that our mortality rates were 70, 75, and that just isn't true any longer. People are living well beyond. People are running marathons in their 70s. Shout out to Craig Ospo. He just ran a marathon in Erskine. Yeah, and Erskine, he was running with him in Germany. Right. They were both in Berlin running a marathon.
But that's what I mean. There's no rules. There's no excuses. And so like, we're not going to just stop. I don't say you have to work forever, but some of us want to because we're doing these things that are pulling us into our flow and our pearls of wisdom. I don't know if you want to share about that, but the expectation of this next 40 plus years, like I like what you just said about photography. Like, let's not just disappear because there's a certain age. Like this can be whatever you want it to be. And that's really where this biohacking conference and the books are becoming really important to us, and our community is growing.
Yes.
So that we have people that we can rely on when we need a little bit more insight on that. That's how we connected, was really talking about health and doing things differently, because we're going to live to 200. Is that right?
Yes, 200. We've decided we're going to be around for 200 because we have a lot of things to get done.
Yeah.
And a lot of time also living in the moment of enjoying and relaxing. But back to pearls of wisdom. Yeah. We came up with an acronym. Okay. Pearl. Purpose. I want to make my life doing things on purpose. I don't want my life to happen to me. And when I think back at the times of my life when I was struggling the most or the most unhappy or making just a series of terrible ideas, it was because
all part of the plan, all part of the pathway to here.
The pathway to here. It was because I was letting life happen to me and I wasn't being purposeful of my next smallest step. And so I want to talk about values like purpose, empowerment. Empowerment to me means if I don't know something, I can ask and be curious and ask someone a question. And also to the people working with me, let them be curious so that I can empower them to take control of their health insurance plan. And there's many things that they can do. Accountability. What good is all this purposeful idea if you're not accountable to yourself? And surrounding yourself with a community of people to keep you accountable to these wishes and dreams and whispers. Because the difference between commitment and interested, do you know what the difference is if you're just interested versus committed? I can tell you if you don't.
A little execution, a little consistency.
Someone talks about something they're interested in.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Someone who's committed is taking the next best step towards realizing that goal. And even if the goal transforms or changes, I just decided I wanted to surround myself with committed individuals because, you know, we can all be interested in things. I'm interested in
that. We need to be doing something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you're really good at helping people commit, but even clients too, even on the board.
Yeah.
I mean, the visions and then helping people take action on that. It's really cool.
You're listening to Pathways with Amber Stitt. For more episodes like this, plus so much more, check out the podcast page at amberstitt.com. Let's take action together. Now let's get back to our episode.
Would you say that your pathway to success really started in 2008 for you to this world, or is it still just evolving?
Oh, it's still evolving.
Yeah.
I would say I would lean in on the fact that my strengths are innovation and creativity, 100%. And I'm an action-oriented person.
Yeah.
I've always thought out of the box.
Yeah.
And with every idea that I have or whatever vision or heart whisper, even if I didn't know how to do it, I just took the next step forward. And really and truly, all of us in our lives, it's like, whatever you're thinking, what if it could be even bigger?
What you're doing, Kate, is planting your seeds of peace. Let's wrap up talking about that. Don't forget about that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Share with people.
So
this is what kicked it off. We planted this and now we have trust trees, and you'll have to watch Timeless to figure this out. But part of the joy that Kate brings to the conversations when she says things like this, or she's going to have a book with all these isms because they're just so cool. But let's just talk about seeds of peace. And I want to have people find you.
Yes.
So let's talk about how people can plant their own seeds of peace. And then if they need your help, how to find you.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yes. Planting seeds of peace has been a mantra that I have shared with the board I so joyfully serve on, Women Insurance and Financial Services.
Portland, Phoenix, shout out to
Phoenix and Portland. And here's the thing, and our national, I mean, we couldn't do it without our national board.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, planting seeds of peace. How are we doing that on the daily basis? It starts right here in our own heart. It starts with managing our personal and our professional feelings, emotions, and actions. And we can do that. We can do systems and processes all day, but if we don't acknowledge ourselves and be in the moment, none of that's going to happen. But planting seeds of peace has been a prosperous garden of trees that, well, we'll give a shout out to Jessica, who's the trees when they're bending in the wind, that they're growing trees of trust. So planting seeds of peace.
The evolution of the tree.
The evolution of the tree and clarity.
Yeah. All right, Kate. So how can people find you?
Well, you can find me right here on LinkedIn, Kate Beck, PDX. That would be awesome. I actually have Instagram these days. So Kate Beck.
Getting hip with that.
Getting hip with Instagram, Kate Beck _net, because there's a lot of KBs out there. So little dash there and you'll find me. And Timeless Vitality. You know where I'd love for you? Find me on YouTube with Amber.
Yep.
Give us a listen. We had so much fun sharing these stories. We have 19 episodes. We'd love for you to pop in and listen.
Oh, and you're new to the OWL Network, so you're going to be meeting some of these folks here.
Yes, and I'm brand new on the OWL Network, so this is a super exciting moment for me. So you can find me on OWL as well.
Thanks for being here, friend.
Thanks, Amber. And there's snacks in the fridge for you. And coconut latte.
No way.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. That's a good friend.
Okay.
Cheers, honey.
Cheers. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Pathways Unleashed, recorded at OWL headquarters here in Delray Beach, Florida. Join us for more powerful conversations with real people who dare to design life on their own terms. Until next time, keep taking action on your unique path.